Hello everybody and welcome back to Timberborn. As always, I am Dor, and today we're going to go ahead and play around with the dams that we have in the game. So I'm going to see if we can go ahead and try and hold on to some of the water in the river here when the next little drought kicks off. But in between episodes, I went ahead and placed down the things that we had down prior to dying, right? We had the lumber mill and the power generation thing down to make the planks, and I went ahead and placed down the forester over here. We have a 5x5 of the birch trees, I believe it is. The birch, yep, and then another 5x5 of the pine. And then I went ahead and did a little 5x10 thing of the maple here, so we can go ahead and have all three tree types growing and hopefully have a good source of lumber coming in, because currently we are pretty much out of lumber on this side of the map. We have a couple trees growing right now. I think we can harvest these ones. Even though they're dead, yeah, we still get 2 logs out of it. So worst case scenario, we can go ahead and mine these ones up. But let's go ahead and place down the dam here. I'm going to go ahead and place it on this river up here by the berry bushes, and hopefully it keeps some water close by to these things. So I'm going to put it right here on the start of the little drop down. So hopefully we can do that. And we can just drag it across like that. And I think that's all we need to do. I don't have anything else unlocked right now. We have 147 science points, so we could do this one, which is to block water completely. That might be useful over here on the start of the big lake. If we want to go ahead and try that one out, let's go ahead and unlock it. Why not? And we'll go ahead and shove the levee right here. If I can go ahead and get it to go across like that, that should be good. Or do I want to back that up one? No, that should be fine. We'll go ahead and see how that works out for us here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and also build a bridge across here so we can go ahead and start harvesting these trees at least, since there is a little grouping of trees there and I don't see any more going down the coastline there. But let's go ahead and drag. Do we even have those things unlocked? I don't think we do. Yeah, we don't have them unlocked yet. I think we even need these ones to go ahead and pass over the gaps. Maybe, unless we could use these. I'm not quite sure if they'll actually walk over the top of the dams or not, so we might have to go ahead and unlock some of these things just to go ahead and walk over them. I'm not quite sure, but if we can get them to walk over the levee here, then we'll go ahead and place a dam here as well. Actually, no, if they can walk over the levee, then we don't have to place anything else. We can just have them walk across and start harvesting these trees. So I'm also going to go ahead and place down a couple more houses because we are almost at capacity here. We only have 15 beds and we have 14 beavers right now. So what I want to go ahead and do is start the next little grouping of houses. We're not going to place down too many because we don't need that many people right now. We don't have them spawning in all that frequently. I don't know what the criteria is to have them spawn in, but every now and again we do have kids getting born, so I'm not sure what is what's like dictating that or whatnot. So we're just going to go ahead and place down a couple more houses, and we are going to go ahead and have them connected into the back of these ones. And for right now, that should be good, right? We're not going to place down any more than that right now. And with the pathway, what I want to go ahead and do is have them come out by one, so then we can go ahead and connect the road like that. And when we come back through to place down more houses, we can do them on top of these and have the staircases connected into the doors like that, so we don't have to like wiggle the road around and stuff like that. So hopefully that kind of helps us going forward here. I'm going to go ahead and prioritize the building of the dams and stuff instead of the houses, because those are kind of more important at the moment. Let's go ahead and toggle those, and let me go ahead and toggle these ones over here. Oh, you know what? I just realized I don't think they'll actually build this one up here because there's no workers within range. I think it has to be within range of this thing. Maybe that's why it's not doing anything. Okay, so let me actually place down some worker things around here so that they actually go ahead and do them. We actually need 100 science points to unlock the builder's hut, which I think we might need. I'm not quite sure if we do or don't, but I'm going to go ahead and toggle all the dead trees right here to go ahead and get some extra lumber coming in. You know what? I'm actually starting to think this might not be a good idea, because if we have this thing blocking off the water completely, then the water level is going to rise, and I think we can flood our place. And if we flood our place, then we're going to start killing off our beavers. So maybe we actually don't build the levee here. We build maybe 1 or 2 of these things can go ahead and be the dam block to go ahead and allow water to go through, I think is what we'll probably end up doing here. So I'm going to go ahead and knock out this one and maybe this one, or just 3 in the middle here to go ahead and allow water to go ahead and seep on through here so that we don't have that flooding chance happen. I'm not quite sure if that's even a thing that can happen, but with how brutal the the drought just was, and it killed everybody. I imagine the flooding is also going to be a factor here, so I'm going to go ahead and replace those with a dam, and hopefully that allows the water to go ahead and go through at a decent pace to not flood anything. We're also going to go ahead and add in another water pump just to go ahead and pull more water out of the river here, and hopefully that helps us going forward here. I'm not quite sure. We might need more of these. I'm going to go ahead and add more as we need them, but right now I think 2 should be fine. I'm going to go ahead and connect this into this road here. It kind of looks janky, but not much I can do about that. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it into fast forward mode here because all we need to do is just wait for some lumber to be generated right now. I don't think we have any food issues or water issues that are going to present themselves right now. We just need to go ahead and generate the wood to go ahead and build these things up really quick. Okay, cool. So we just rolled right into another drought. We have 2.9 days until it's over, but they didn't manage to go ahead and build this dam just yet, but they did go ahead and finish the other one. And we are having a really close call with the water. It like keeps getting up to the very edge of the land and then it starts going back down. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing just yet, but it does seem to be holding in the water in the river here instead of draining it into the lake. So that's pretty good right now. Hopefully it lasts a little while before it actually never mind, it's going to dry out right now because it's already coming back down, and it stopped actually. Okay, cool. So that's a good sign, I think. I'm going to see if we can go ahead and build over the dam here with a pathway, because if we can go ahead and walk across this, that would be fantastic. It doesn't place one down, but it did place like imaginary rails down to go ahead and have them walk through it. So maybe that's a good sign. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to go ahead and have the road go maybe about 2 tiles out and then back this way with it. And we will go ahead and place the lumberjack gatherer thing here, and then we'll also place one over here by this one. So let me go ahead and place the road there, and then I'm going to go ahead and wiggle this all the way back to the other road just to go ahead and have it connected in. Okay, so let's go ahead and plop one of the lumberjack things down right here. That should be good. Right there should be fine, and then we can place the other one here. I'm also going to go ahead and place down one of the lumber storage things in this area so they don't have to walk all the way back over to the main area here to go ahead and deposit it. So we can go ahead and plop that there. That should be kind of halfway in between both of these. Let me go ahead and highlight the trees for them to go ahead and cut down. Oh, there's actually a limit to how far out these things can go. So on the little green line on the pathway, it ends right there. So this one's not actually in range of this place. So we can't actually have people working this. I guess we can go ahead and try and fix that by building another dam out over the water here and then having the road connect in. And maybe that'll go ahead and trigger this to go ahead and count as connected into the city. We also need to go ahead and build a path out to the dam over here, because if we go ahead and click on it, it tells us that it's too far away from builders. So we need to go ahead and move the pathway a little bit closer to it. That way it kind of knows that there's something there for them to go ahead and build. So we are going to go ahead and connect it in. I'm trying to see if we have anything kind of open. We really don't. I wanted to go ahead and wiggle through the bushes here, but doesn't look like we can do that. I'm going to go ahead and just drag it from here and then kind of connect it into the road. I guess that should be fine. And it's still too far away from the builders. So I wonder if, yeah, this thing is all red all the way over to it. So maybe that's not going to get built until we go ahead and unlock this thing to go ahead and have builders closer to that to go ahead and build it. I guess is probably what's going to happen. But so far, we've almost made it through an entire day and the river is still here. I kind of wish if I clicked on it, it told me the amount of water in there, but I guess we can see that if we go ahead and build this thing as well, or unlock this thing, the depth marker, to see just how much water is actually in the reservoir here for us to go ahead and use, which is kind of nice. I'm not actually going to go ahead and put a dam here. I'm going to go ahead and unlock the bridge to go ahead and bridge over this, or the platform, and then just bridge over the top of this so we don't actually have any water like retention going on here, so we don't accidentally flood, because like I said, we're kind of cutting it close with this thing. The water keeps getting right up to the rim of the land, and I don't know if it's actually going to overflow or not, so I don't want to risk it by placing another dam in between here. But hopefully once they get done building the bridge here, we can go ahead and just connect it in, and this will hopefully work. All right, cool. We made it all the way through the drought, and the river never drained, so we didn't have any food issues, any water issues this time around, which is fantastic. So what I want to go ahead and do right now is actually start focusing in on some of their other needs here, because we do want to go ahead and make sure they're happy. So let's go ahead and place down some stuff. We have 70 points to go ahead and unlock things if we need to. So let's go ahead and place down a couple more leisure items because we only have one of these things down and it only serves 5 of them at a time. So let's go ahead and plop down maybe one more of those, and then we can go ahead and do one of the rooftop ones as well on the buildings that we have over here. So let's go ahead and plop the other campfire on this side of the stuff here to go ahead and kind of separate the two things. And then we can go ahead and place one of the rooftop terrace things over here. Do we want to back it up though? And maybe have multiples on the rooftop here? How many does this serve? This serves 6 people at a time. Okay, so if we place it here, it's kind of bigger than the houses, which I kind of don't really like. Can I rotate this? I can. Ooh, let's actually place, yeah, I guess let's go ahead and place this one there. And then we can place another one here. Oh, actually, no, we can't. We can place the other one here. I suppose that should work. And then we can go ahead and just have the staircases up to them like that. And that'll go ahead and hopefully help make some of the beavers more happy. That way we can go ahead and have that stat kind of going back up because I took the things away. What did I take away? I took away the aesthetic thing, the bushes that I laid around the map here. So I don't know if the more the stats are high here is what dictates them making more kids and whatnot. I'm not too sure, but right now we have 25 beavers in our area here. So we're right about at cap again on the houses we have down. We need this thing to get built so we have a little more leeway here, but eventually that'll go ahead and get built. They are slowly working on the bridge here. Oh, they need planks. That's why it's not getting built. Okay, I was wondering why that wasn't happening. So let me go ahead and toggle this stuff to go ahead and start running again because I had all that stuff paused. So we had people working in other things instead of that because it was kind of more important for them to be cutting down trees and picking berries instead of making planks that we didn't need. I also want to go ahead and build like a little science area because right now we're only producing 3 every few minutes here or however long this thing actually takes to cycle through. So it's going to take us quite some time to go ahead and unlock some of the later game items here. So right now, like this monument wants 12,000 science points. That's going to take us forever if we just leave one building making science points here. So I want to go ahead and place down some more of these things. Maybe I'll place down 6 of them, I think, is probably the limit I'm going to go with here. I'm going to go ahead and place them... where do I want to place these things? Let's go ahead and place them over here for right now. And we might end up moving these later. I'm not quite sure. We're not going to have the people to actually staff these buildings for a little while until we start getting more in our little colony here, but at least we'll have them down to go ahead and hopefully have science points rolling in whenever we do get around to filling these buildings up with people. So we'll go ahead and place down 6 of these. And we'll go ahead and just do it like that. I don't think there's a limit to how many of these we can have down. I just want to go ahead and have a decent amount of science points coming in. Once these buildings are built, I'll go ahead and remove this one just so we don't have it hanging out next to the main building here. I'm not too worried about it though. So are they done building this thing yet? They're not done building it, but they are building it nonetheless. I want to rotate my camera. Thank you. They are able to go ahead and build most of it. They can't build some of this though, but I'm guessing once they build this one, it'll allow them to build that one. So we should be okay. And then I think at the end of this, we can go ahead and place down a staircase to go ahead and climb up to this layer because we're not level with it. And then we have another little section of the map uncovered, but there's really nothing here for us to do. We have to staircase up to other areas here to go ahead and get to things. I'm also going to go ahead and queue up a couple of these small warehouses because right now we're at capacity in the 2 that we have. So we're going to place down a few of them because it's going to take us a little while to unlock the next one, which is 250 science points to unlock it. So we'll just go ahead and make a little grouping of them here, and then we'll run a pathway down so we can connect into them so they're all valid. And that should work. So we have 3 there. We'll do another row on the side of that as well. That way we have plenty of room. I might even go back through and toggle them to only store specific items because right now I think most of our storage is being eaten up by the food items, which we could probably dedicate to like 2 warehouses a piece here for each item that we're producing there. And then we can toggle these ones to be the other items that are being produced right now. So we're about halfway through another drought. We had 6 days this time. So that's the longest drought we've had to deal with so far, but I went ahead and disabled the wheat growing in our farm because currently we don't have a way of actually consuming that. We need to go ahead and make the grind mill thing over here, and then we need to make the bakery to go ahead and turn that into bread before we can actually eat it. So all it's doing right now is actually eating up storage space in our warehouses, so we're not actually storing any food. So we had like potatoes and carrots and stuff going bad because we weren't actually putting it into storage. So I went ahead and disabled the wheat from growing so that we don't have that being produced anymore, and then and hopefully we can go ahead and either grind this stuff up or delete it somehow. I'm not quite sure what we do about that now. But anyways, we have this thing completed now. The bridge over here is done. We have a pathway over, and we can actually have this thing farm up the trees now. So that's pretty good for us. We have lumber coming in from this little area. Our trees over here are starting to grow. I might go ahead and expand this to go ahead and have more trees being produced, because right now we were pretty much idle for a couple days there, not growing any trees, and we weren't really progressing anything because we didn't have the lumber to build anything out. So I might go ahead and add more little plots to this thing to go ahead and increase the trees, but I'm not quite sure just yet. But this thing over here, the dam that we just built, isn't exactly doing what I thought it would do. I thought it would drain the river in this area into this one so that we wouldn't run out of water in this area, so that we would have like 2 supplies of water so that it would last us longer than this first one did. Even though we haven't run into any issues of this one draining just yet, I imagine as the droughts get longer and our water consumption gets higher, we are gonna start draining this thing probably at some point. So what I want to go ahead and do is probably end up removing this stuff so that we don't have it there anymore. And I want to go ahead and unlock these things. These are floodgates. So I wonder if we go ahead and do a layer of the normal dam, and then we do a floodgate above that, if the water will go ahead and backlog up to the floodgate so that we are flooding the area over here, and then when the drought happens, it'll keep draining the water out of the dam. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. I'm not sure if this is even a good spot to do it. Maybe if we actually drag a road to this area, might be a bit better to try it at, because it's all cliff sides here and their walls are pretty high already, especially like right here on the corner, because the cliff side ends right before it goes into the turn here. So we might go ahead and try that. I think we can wiggle the road or the pathway around the map here to go to this area so that our builders can actually get to that part of the map and build on it. And we can go ahead and build the pathway all the way out there, but it doesn't show that we have the radius to actually work in this area. So we might need to go ahead and unlock this thing, the builder's hut. So let's go ahead and do that. And then if we have the science points to go ahead and unlock the first floodgate, let's do that as well. 150, how much is the next one? 250. Okay, so we have 126 points left over. I'm going to go ahead and just toggle it. I don't think they'll actually go ahead and build it just yet. This will go ahead and probably get built in between episodes, honestly. So I want to go ahead and do one layer of the floodgate. I'm not quite sure which way this thing needs to be facing. I'm going to face it sideways, I suppose. And can we build on top of this? Actually, let me try the levee first. Right, we can place the levee, and then maybe we can build the floodgate above that. And what if we go ahead and remove 2 of these in the middle and then replace those with the dam block? Is that going to allow us to kind of filter the water through and try and build a bit of a backlog of water to constantly be draining into our main river? Or maybe we need to go ahead and do a floodgate above that as well. We can't place anything above that. Okay. Can we place the other one above it? No. Maybe this is going to work. Maybe it's not going to work, but we need to go ahead and kind of drag a working thing over to the side of it here. So we need to go ahead and see where the radius on this thing ends. And we can go ahead and place a builder hut here because that's at the end of the radius. And is that going to be within range? It is going to be within range. Actually, let me see. Can I place one over here? Is that within range? No, it's too far. Okay. So once this one gets built, we'll see a radius on this thing as well. And then we might have to place another builder's hut over here. And then eventually this thing will go ahead and get built. We're going to go ahead and smack a couple of the lumber things in this area, maybe one of the gathering huts as well, to go ahead and at least harvest up the items that are over here in this little chunk. So while we're building this thing, we can go ahead and hopefully use the lumber from this area instead of having to go all the way back to this place to gather the lumber and bring it all the way back over there and go back and forth like that. So hopefully that's the case. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode. I'm going to go ahead and hopefully have this thing start getting built and or get built in between episodes. I'm not quite sure how long this is going to take. If we can even get to it from where we are right now, we might have to build a bridge over to it just so we can go ahead and get level with it. I'm not quite sure. But I'm also going to go ahead and unlock the next tier of the floodgate as well, the double floodgate, because we might want to go ahead and drag this thing up another layer just so that we're level with the cliffside here. So that way, if we do need to go ahead and get onto it to build it, we can just go ahead and staircase up one of the cliff sides here. And maybe our beavers can go ahead and build the little tower like that from the top here. I'm not quite sure if we need to be level with it as we are going up or not, but we'll go ahead and see hopefully if this thing is done getting built next episode or not. But for right now, it's going to go ahead and be it for today's episode. So hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.